it is the big topic in the world right now of professional wrestling, and that is R-Truth and Carlito's contracts not being renewed. I know everyone says they've been released, and I know even R-Truth used the word released, but they weren't really released. It's a contract not being renewed because they're on full-time deals. So, and I grabbed this picture as well because the rumor is, at least that I've seen, that Miz's contract is expiring sometime next month in July, and he'll be kind of in that same boat. And so, just want to get our thoughts and kind of talk about that with it. I kind of rambled on about it a bit yesterday, but I'm not sure if you get to give your thoughts as well on it, George, so we can kind of you on it.
There's nothing totally surprising. I mean, like you said, they've each been there. What? Miz has been there for at least 20 or 15 years, probably. R-Truth's been there about the same. Carlito's been in and out, same. They're all been there forever.
Right. And with Carlito, it was one of those things where he was kind of brought in more as like a nostalgia thing as part of it. Just kind of, there was really never going to be. And I even thought when they brought him in, like, what are they really going to do with him as a main storyline? And he's made it work and had fun with it as well. And R-Truth, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I think him and Miz, they're both probably on deals. Usually they were 5-year deals. So if they signed them in summer of 2020, that's still going to be under the Vince regime. And they're probably making full-time, working every show salaries because they were bigger parts of it then, especially under Vince. He liked them both, but maybe it's something where they'll get put to more of a Legends deal, or even something where it can be per appearance. And Miz, it seems like, has already been planning for this. I mean, he's now the new host of American Gladiators. I just found out today he's doing what he calls Miz Golf, where it's a golf show he's doing on YouTube, which, shout out to that name instead of Live Golf, Miz Golf. That's pretty class. But I mean, none of it surprises me in that it's one of those things too. It's not like they're fired. They didn't get released. It's just your contracts come to an end. Miz is in his 40s now. R-Truth's in his 50s. Carlito's in his 40s as well. Like, it's not that. I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised by it at all. It's not that I ever want to see anybody lose their job, quote unquote, but I expect R-Truth to be on a Legends deal fairly soon. Maybe do some TNA appearances. And I mean, I know Titus O'Neil's a goodwill ambassador and a great one, but I don't think there could be a better goodwill ambassador than R-Truth, just in general. I mean, even if
they're not going to lose any work, and if they were any kind of financial minor genius, they're set up for the rest of their lives, plus their kids, plus their kids.
Right. Oh, exactly. Especially for Miz and R-Truth. I mean, I know they said R-Truth has been there 17 consecutive years. I think is what they're 17 total. So yeah, he's made quite a lot. And Miz not only has made so much doing wrestling, but he's been out there and doing his other stuff. I know it was kind of like the tongue-in-cheek joke that he was the A-lister or whatever, but he's been in enough. He's on a lot of red carpets. He's been in a host of a lot of different shows, and actually he's been a part of the WWE system since 2004. He made his first appearance in 2006. So yeah, man's had 20 consecutive years, and as far as I know, it's only that one injury that he got back during the stupid zombie match where he got hurt. But I mean, he's been a consistent worker. He's great for what he does. But I mean, look at the youth coming up. Look at the world of
that's right. Yeah, that's where I was going. Plus, we looked it up before the show, and he's worth $30 million, so he's fine.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I assumed he was somewhere between like the 15 and 20 million network. Yeah, nice. He said, I got a feeling
they're dealing with a call-up system pretty soon. It's going to happen. They're going to have a youth explosion.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've already seen it on the women's side. Actually, another shout out to you, George, as well, for having the idea to do that NXT women's roster breakdown when we did. I said it was good timing then, and I don't know if it was. I think it was either the day we posted or the next day it was announced that Stephanie Vaquer is gone up to Raw as a full-time member of the Raw roster. So we still got to at least include her in that because there's a lot of movement going on. Never mind the stuff with Evolve and LFG and the ID programs and everything else with it. It's one of those situations where when these releases happen or contract not renewals happen, if you leave amicably, you leave on good terms, there's always the chance you could come back and do something within the company, whether it's another run wrestling, or maybe working as a trainer or a coach, or coming. I know that you would bring people into the PC to do specific types of coaching and training, where they would have Undertaker and like Scott Hall work with the big men. Well, I mean, Miz can work with people of like how to get the personality out of you, how to maximize that within it. That's where I think whenever Chelsea Green retires, I mean, I'm not sure if there'd be a better promo coach than somebody like Miz or Chelsea Green that can really maximize that time and really accentuate their skills and kind of hide their weaknesses.
Yeah, I think you pegged Miz's trajectory pretty well with the game show stuff and the stuff that he's really good at doing. He'll probably end up doing that. I bet he does that for the next 2-3 years or so. And then he comes back to WWE in a different kind of role.
It's one of the. It makes the perfect sense to me. It's one of the. First off, it kind of goes into one of those cliches. That's a good cliche that Cornette always says. How can I miss you if you don't go away? So there's that part of it. But he's great at stuff like that. Whether it's the hosting or being the secondary. I'm sure he could do color commentary on different things depending on what it was. He can really interact with anybody. I feel like he's kind of on the he's good like with what was it? I always forget his real name, but AC Slater, Mario Lopez, like where he went and hosted like Extra or different things like that. Maybe make some TV movies or B style streaming movies or something like that, but always have work. He's a hard worker. He's willing to do anything. He's got no problem being the butt of the joke. And I think Gladiators will probably be that, not so much a coming out party for him, but kind of like proof of concept. Here's who I am. Here's what I can do. And there's probably a bunch of different options for him.
We'll see what happens. I'm interested in the Miz just because he's been around so long.
Yeah.
We've gotten to see his growth and what he went through and how he's become a staple item, and now he's got to see what he can do afterwards.
Yeah, no, and it seems like he's at least setting himself up well for that in preparing for it with what he's done.
R-Truth, I think you might have something going down and teaching promo classes with him.
That would be, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something in TNA as well. That really wouldn't surprise me in the least. I know a lot of the AEW fans and people. It's funny, a lot of people that were complaining that Truth was involved in the Saturday Night Main Event match against Cena, complaining and saying this is terrible. Why is this on TV? Are the same people crying that he was released, even though he really wasn't. But it's either here or there. But
I've managed to separate myself from that. I don't even see it.
I've seen the thing is what I've seen. It's funny that you said it. What I've seen are people that I follow reposting screenshots of it. Yeah, I try not to get involved with it. I did initially, and then I just gave up. Kind of like with certain trolls or certain things. Like you try, I'll just have a discussion with anybody. Would give me valid points. I'm happy to have a valid discussion. That's half of the reason we do the Spaces show. But when it's just this is bad or this is good because I think it is. It's not a discussion. That's just
plus a lot of things people say they spoil a lot of shit. Like they'll spoil their own storylines without even knowing they're spoiling them. I want to be surprised. I don't want to know anything. That was the whole idea of me watching wrestling in the first place.
Right?
Just to be surprised in what the storylines are and what's going on.
And how great point out there, because how great has it been to see the returns or the surprises that have not been spoiled, whether it's
they're keeping stuff really quiet now. Which I appreciate.
I love it. It makes it so much more enjoyable to watch. And I can tell you from experience of when I missed one of them because when Ricky Saints debuted in NXT, I was out at a show with my wife and had my phone in my pocket and don't really look or don't really care. It was your intermission and I happened to look at my phone and it's got 37 Twitter notifications. I got 4 different text messages from people. I'm like, oh shit, something happened. But it's because it was a big surprise and a big moment. And that's really cool. They can do that. Where I think, a lot of people are thinking that Truth is going to go, or not thinking, but they want Truth to go to AEW, which I don't see happening at all. But I do think it would be funny if he showed up in TNA and per the gimmick, either thought that it was still exactly what it was when he was there. So he's looking around for different people. If nothing else, they should do something with it so that he and Santino can interact. Because
that can work.
Tell me that's not going to be fun, right?
No,
I think
that can definitely work.
I think there'd be something great where if they like did something and they were being just super corny and embarrassing, and then Ariana just has to like leave the room because she's, you know, too many dad jokes or whatever. There's something there, and it would be good for TNA.